day I graduated college in 2005, I decided to start a rental company. It took a few years until it became successful enough to be my full-time job, but now it's all I do. My hope is to help you by sharing my knowledge. Hi, so one of the viewers, his name is Mitch. He has a photo booth company currently, and he's expanding. And he asked if I could go over contracts, which was something I didn't think about, and it's a perfect winter thing to do. Like I said in other videos, I'm just waiting to get out in the warm weather and start setting up tents and show you all that stuff. But contracts is definitely something that you need. You cannot get away without having a solid contract. If someone gets hurt, someone damages your equipment, you got to be covered, and you got to have a clear way to handle all that. Now I'm just going to show you some of mine. I have posted this on my blog. I do have a blog. I never mentioned it before. It's startaTentRentalBusiness.com. You will, if you go there, you can get a copy of this. I do not suggest that you just copy it and use it. Every jurisdiction, every state is going to be a little different. I would still take it to a lawyer and just have it checked out, check the wording out, make sure that it works for you. I am in no way responsible if my contract does not work for you. So that's startaTentRentalBusiness.com. So our rental contract just automatically gets sent out on every email that we send someone that has an invoice or quote. So it's always on there. There's no way that they can say they've never seen it. So there's a lot of legal stuff on there that covers you if they break something, they tear something. There's stuff on there that says you're allowed to go on their property anytime to inspect your equipment. There's stuff about how much of a deposit you need, how much of a deposit that can come back to them if they cancel, whether it's refundable or only partly refundable. So there's a whole bunch of legal stuff that I'm not really going to get into. Just go visit the blog, startaTentRentalBusiness.com, and read it. What I am going to go through is the personal things that we added to the contract ourselves because we kept coming across these issues. And we added them in big bold letters before the actual legalese, legal speak contract begins. Because we were constantly running into these things. I'm like, this is just wasting time all the time or causing us a nightmare. So let's put these in the contract, and when they sign it, they have to acknowledge that they have read all these things. So I'm just going to go through them. I'll change camera angles so you can see what I'm reading. Basically, at the end of it, it says, thank you for doing business with us, blah, 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 as a nice thing. And then deposit, please send a minimum 25% deposit to secure the reservation. Thanks. Then delivery, because we're not setting up delivery times 6 months in advance, 1 month in advance, because we're getting so many phone calls and that day's going to fill up. If I say that we're going to deliver on Thursday at 10 o'clock, 6 months from now, and then someone else calls and they need it at 10 o'clock too, I'm messed up. So we don't arrange delivery schedules until the Sunday before. So right here we say, delivery. We call the weekend before to arrange the delivery times. Delivery can be anywhere from 1 to 3 days before the event, depending on the size and type of event. If delivery location has certain time constraints, then we are more than willing to work with them for most instances. Feel free to contact us anytime for delivery questions, but understand that if the date is still some time away, we can only be able to give you an estimated delivery day. So that kind of covers us so that we don't have to come up with a delivery time, 6 months in advance. And then we've been running into issues where no one's telling us that the venue we're dropping off at has time constraints, so we put that in there. Like, we can only come between this hour or 2 hours out of the event. Then we've really been having problems where people are not telling us that their venue requires pickup after the event that night, which is horrible. If you send people out at midnight to go pick things up, you have lost them for the next day. They're not going to be effective employees. So we charge about $350 if we got to come back at midnight to get things, because I'm going to be down a guy the next day. But so we put that on there. If your venue requires pickup time same night as your event, please let us know. There is an additional charge for any late night pickups. This charge will vary on the size of the rental order and the time of required pickup. So that's just to cover a few things. Then we get into some major things. Damage waiver. We have a damage waiver on all our dishes, flatware, glassware, anything that has to do with cooking and eating. And it says, damage waiver on dishes, glassware, and silverware, or any type of food service equipment is for damage only, not for missing items above 3 per item. If damaged, please place back in the rack it was delivered in, or if the item did not come in a rack, place to the side. For any items that are missing above 3 per item, not total order, replacement cost will be charged. So we were having whole racks missing, and because the damage waiver, they paid it, they didn't think that they had to owe any money for the missing pieces. So we had to make it clear that no, the damage waiver is for damaged items. We will allow you to miss 3 items of each thing. But if you start missing 5, 10, 15, 20, it means you took them and you got to pay for them. And that's why we want them to put the damaged items back in so that we can count the damaged items and see that they're actually damaged and not stolen. I'm a little more lenient with this on caterers because caterers are doing big venues and they may miss some glasses here and there. And I don't want to nickel and dime them all the time for glasses and silverware and plates. I want their business consistently, so we are lenient. But if this was a private residence party and they're missing a large amount of glassware, we will charge them. But if they break it, it's covered by the damage waiver. So now on the chairs. We deliver our chairs on our 4-wheel dollies and we leave them like that. And when we come pick them up, we expect them to be like that because it saves us time from having us, gather them all together and stack them up. It saves tons of time if the customer already has it ready. So we have chairs need to be stacked neatly back on dollies before pickup. There is a sticker on the back of most chairs designating which way is up. Please stack them neatly and correctly. If chairs are not stacked or stacked in a sloppy manner, there will be a charge of 25 cents per chair. This method greatly helps us with efficiency and keeps labor costs down, which in turn allows us to provide the best price we can to each customer. Non-padded chairs stack 50 high, and padded chairs stack 25 high. So on the back of all my chairs, there's a sticker that says, please stack this side up. It just makes everything easier, so everything's stacked the same way. We've never actually had to charge this 25 cents per chair because it mostly scares people enough to say, well, we need to pick up the chairs. So most of the time when we show up, all the chairs are picked up. There's been a few times where it hasn't been, and I just don't want to anger people, so we don't really charge. This thing that says 25 cents per chair is more of a scare tactic, and it works. If renting a tent, please have tent corners marked with stakes, sticks, or spray paint before the delivery driver arrives. It helps speed up the process. And we do this because we are giving people 2-3 hour time frames that we'd be there. And sometimes we would show up and they wouldn't be there. And so then we're waiting around an hour for them to show up to say where the tent's gonna go. Or if we're running early, we can get the tent started. Or if we're running late, we can say, I know you got errands to go do them. We'll just start the tent and you'll be back. So this allows the tent guys to get there immediately and start setting up the tent, whether the customer's there or not, because it's clearly marked. And then also there's no questions about the husband said here, he was home and he said here, but the wife comes back 2 hours later and says, that's not where I wanted it. And then we got to come back and move it. So if it's marked, we can immediately start, no matter if the people are home or not. And there's no questions between the wife and husband or whatever arguing about where it goes. It's already planned out. If delivery and setup is more than a few stairs, please let us know. If we show up and there are a lot of stairs, we will amend the bill. If we are told beforehand, we will let you know the price for the extra time involved. We are a rental business. We are rental people. We drop off equipment. But our prices are based on dropping things off at a convenient location. If you got to go up 2 flights of stairs, that's going to add another extra 45 minutes if you got to do it all by hand. If you got to go up an elevator that you can only fit a little bit in, that's going to take extra time. We need to know that, and we need to factor that into our labor cost. Unless otherwise arranged, tables and chairs are not set up by us. We will place them under the tent, and when we come back to pick them up, they must be returned the way we had them on delivery. We do not set up tables and chairs for most people because you show up and then they're like, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there, blah, blah, blah. And then they change it, and then they change it again. And something that should take 20 minutes, if they were doing it themselves, ends up taking 2 hours, and it's just horrible. So we set everything up besides the tables and chairs. That is for them to set up. We set up the dance floor, the lights, the tents, everything. But they have their own idea how they want to arrange things, and they set it up. We will set up if they have provided a diagram at least 1 month in advance, so that when we show up, we can just, according to the diagram, set things up. And no one is allowed to say, no, that doesn't go there, and move things. We set up to the diagram. If we have a diagram that's been approved and reviewed beforehand, we will set up, and it doesn't take a lot of time. We cannot put a pole tent up over a driveway under any circumstance. If you would like a tent on the driveway, please rent a frame tent. So we were showing up to people's driveways or houses to do like a 20 by 40, and they want it over their driveway, but they don't want you to put holes on the end stakes. They just want it to float there. And I say, no, everywhere there's supposed to be a stake needs to be a stake. I'm not getting in legal trouble or having anyone hurt if the tent falls because there wasn't a stake where it was supposed to be. So now we only rent frame tents on driveways because you can use weights, you can use less stakes and ratchets and reach the grass. It's just way safer. If renting sidewalls, they are not allowed to be removed. We will show you how to open them up safely so they do not get damaged. We don't let people take down sidewalls once we put them up. We will show them how to open them, or we will leave them and show them how to put them up. But once they're up, they're up. Because what people will do is they'll take them and throw them on the ground, and it gets filthy and rained on, and then you got to spend an hour cleaning it back at the warehouse. So once they're up, they're up. You can open them the way we show you, or we can leave them and you can put them up if you need them. Sides and heaters are the only items that there is no refund or partial refund if canceled the week of. Everyone wants to wait on sides and heaters until they see the weather forecast, but it's not really possible because other people will be reserving those things. By the time it comes to that week and you find out that it's going to rain or be cold, those items are already reserved. The people that have reserved those items, they want to try to cancel them if they find out that it's nice out. But you can't do that, because if I've only got 5 heaters and they're all out and someone calls me and they want to do their whole event with me, but they want to do it with 2 heaters, and I say, hey, well, I have everything, but I don't have the 2 heaters. They're most likely going to find a company who has everything so they can just do it all in one. And I lose that customer. I can lose a $15,000 wedding because I don't have 2 heaters because they're reserved for someone else, which is fine. I lose the wedding. The other people are reserved. Now comes the week of, and it's nice out and they don't need heaters. They're going to try to cancel them. And I say to them, I can't let you cancel them. They're like an insurance policy. You either pay if you use it or you pay if you don't. I have lost many customers because I don't have the heaters. So in order to make up for it a little bit, you're not going to need them, but you still need to pay for them. Same thing with sides. Customers will reserve sides and then try to cancel the week of because they don't need it. But again, I may have lost countless customers because I have no more sides left in my inventory. And then the people who have them reserved try to cancel. I can't call up those other people and say, hey, I have sides now. They've already moved on to another company. So sides and heaters, we don't let you cancel. You have to pay for them no matter what. No staples, tacks, or pins can be used to attach your own things to any equipment. Any damage will result in a charge to fix or replace equipment. That's self-explanatory. No staples, tacks, or pins. You don't want holes in your stuff. Some wedding planners stapled fabric to the tent, and now there's just little pinholes of staple marks in the tent. No tape can be used on anything except for the underside of tables, and no time should tape be put on the vinyl of the tent. Any damage will result in a charge to fix or replace equipment. Tape on the vinyl, it doesn't really damage it, but when it comes off, there's a sticky residue that you don't really see, but over time, dirt gets stuck to it, so then you'll have all these little square patches of dirt, and then you got to get goof off or gooby gone and spend time cleaning each little one. So no tape. Zip ties or bread ties or something that just is easily cut, they can use. If delivery location is not easily accessible, is on a hazardous road, or in a location where large trucks do not usually go, there can be an audit to final price. I'm going to get into a much longer video on this one, the reason why I put this one in here. Basically, some guy changed my contract my first year, and I was eager to, and He changed it because his driveway was a mile long, but full of boulders, and it took an hour to get down the driveway. But anyways, when you show up somewhere, like I said, our business model is we deliver to a convenient location. If we're showing up to deliver 100 chairs for $100, it's like into a garage, into a building, like we just wheel it there. But if you want us to bring it up to the 12th floor, walking upstairs, that's extra time involved. We need to account for it. We need to charge the appropriate labor rate. So anything that makes it a little bit more difficult, we charge. We don't go crazy with it. We don't want to seem like jerks, but we need to charge the appropriate rate because everything is priced at deliver to a convenient location. Easy. If it's going to be hard, we need to account for it. All obstacles in the way of setting up the rented equipment needs to be removed from the area. That includes tree branches that could be hazardous to the tent. We are not authorized to touch or move anything that could be in the way. If the clearing of the area takes more than 10 minutes, there will be a $10 charge for every 10 minutes after the first 10. Basically, we'll give them 10 minutes to clean up, and then after that, every 10 minutes we're going to charge $10. Now this is because if we show up and there's tree branches or there's lawn furniture everywhere, and we're going to wait an hour, 3 guys waiting an hour costs a lot of money, and you're just standing there when you could be started. Also, we don't move things because we don't want to break things. I didn't learn this lesson personally, but another tent company told me. They moved a vase of some lady that they had been working with for years, and they just moved a vase off her patio so they could put the frame tent up. Well, their employee dropped the vase and broke it, and it was a $5,000 vase, and then the lady sued them. Even though she had asked them to move it and said, it's okay, please move it, I can't move it. They moved it because she says, okay, broke it, got sued for $5,000. So we just don't move things. I'm not touching people's things. We're there to do our thing. I can't risk breaking something valuable of yours. The last 2 have to deal with like drilling holes in pavement. Drilling holes in pavement is a charge of $5 per hole. Please let us know ahead of time if this will be necessary. If upon delivery it is discovered that we need to drill holes, there will be a charge of $5 per hole. And then if holes need to be put in pavement, we do not fill them in after removal unless otherwise arranged. Okay, so we're showing up places sometimes like parking lots. They ordered a pole tent. A pole tent can go in a parking lot just fine. So we show up and we're not prepared. We don't have a jackhammer, we don't have a drill. Well, we have a jackhammer all the time now, but back then we didn't. We just used a drill and then hand staked. But we just weren't prepared, and it takes a lot longer. So we need to know that so that we're prepared and we can charge accordingly. So it takes a long time to get a stake through asphalt. And then when we leave, they think we're just going to fill in the holes. That is expensive because it's time consuming, and you got to buy the materials. So we make it very clear that they're responsible for it unless they want us to. If they want us to, we will do it, and we'll do a good job at it and make it look almost like nothing was there. But we're going to charge appropriately for it. So that concludes the things that we have run into all the time that I wanted to address, the things that were costing us time and money and making us have headaches and things. And then beyond that is all the legal stuff about your property and their property, how they're supposed to treat your property if someone gets hurt. But it's all like, lessor agrees to this, blah, blah. It's all just legal speak. So go to the startatentrentalbusiness.com. I put it up there. I think it's much easier for you to read it. In the bottom of the video, in the comments, I have copied the things that I just read so you can easily read those. But I didn't copy the whole contract. Go to startatentrentalbusiness.com. Thank you. So I made a blog before I did the YouTube stuff. I don't really like writing, so I kind of don't do the blog that much, but I'm going to add things here and there. I'm mostly doing the YouTube thing. The blog is a little harder. I like just talking to the camera and then hitting a button and there you go, you see it. But the blog is startatrentalbusiness.com.